Hello, it is Sim4 Tyree. Actually, I haven't recorded a video in a while, but I was scrolling on Twitter, man. I saw this tweet. It was just made by Pro Football Network. It is a 7-round mock. Let me just say, I saw like the first 3 picks, and there is cause for concern. Let's get into this. I'm gonna do 2 rounds. That's all I'm gonna do. Because I don't know if I have the capacity for 7 rounds. But I might actually just go till I find Grayson McCall if he goes. Well, let's get into this. And this is what I was talking about with cause for concern. Carson Strong going 1-1. Now hear me out. I like Carson Strong. I'm actually still higher on him than a lot of people, because I've seen a lot of people say he's trash. I do not get that one bit. He's a very smart quarterback. His arm is really good. And for a guy who's dubbed as pocket passer, he can move a little bit. I see him as a better version of Kirk Cousins, which is worth a first round pick. I don't know if he's worth 1-1. That pick for me would be Spencer Rattler, who I think, just based off of his 2020 tape alone, I would slot him as, this would be stacking him up against the 2021 class. I would put him ahead of Trey Lance, and he would have been my QB4 last year if he was entering the draft. I think Rattler is really good. He has insane talent. Like, Rattler could be like a taller version of Russell Wilson. That's how good he could be. But then number 2, Malik Willis to Lions. I've actually said this before, but I think if I had to bet money which QB, well, if the Lions go QB, which QB it is, I actually said it would be Malik Willis, just because I feel like they would want a guy who is a guaranteed blue-collar guy, great culture guy. What the frick? Never mind. But I think Malik Willis would go. Well, if the Lions are going to take any QB, I would predict Malik Willis. But personally, I'm not as high in Malik Willis as a lot of people. He has some pretty big processing deficiencies. There was one bubble screen, no, it wasn't a bubble screen. It was one of the halfback swings, trips to one side. You swing the halfback out, and you throw him the ball. Malik Willis bailed from that, and it was perfectly blocked up. He bailed, and he started running. That is a concern for me. And then DeMarvin Leal to the Jags. I really like this man. I am incredibly high on DeMarvin Leal. I wouldn't say he will be J.J. Watt, but his ceiling is J.J. Watt. That's how good DeMarvin Leal could be. But personally for me, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard, but because with Chason, I think this would all depend on how Chason looks this year. If they're picking 3, it depends. Does Chason look good to great? If he does, you take Leal. If he looks bad, you take Thibodeau. That's my opinion right there. So, trying to get that stench off the Carson Strong pick, they've recovered well. So I've actually talked about this with the Jets and Derek Stingley. I think Derek Stingley is really good. He's possibly the most talented not quarterback, most talented cornerback to come out in the past 10 years, or since Patrick Peterson, also out of LSU. But my one question with Derek Stingley is he has length issues, in my opinion, and the Jets are going to run the cover 3 scheme. So I want Derek. Well, crap. For corners in this scheme, I want them to be able to get into the receiver's face. I'm not sure if Derek Stingley will be great at that. I think the better scheme fit is Kyer Elam. But I think Derek Stingley could be elite at everything else. Certainly. The only other knock I have on him is sometimes he struggles to anticipate. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. Kenyon Green? That is bad. Like, really bad. First of all, he's a guard that's not Quinn Nelson. You only take a guard number 1 overall if he's, or not number 1, in the top 10 if he's Quentin Nelson. And personally, I don't think he is. Here, give me a second. Okay. Now we're back. And then, if Rattler's available at 6, you just take him. If you're the Eagles. Even if Kurtz looks good, Rattler could be elite. Like, he could be insane. God, that would just be unbelievable. God. Like, I don't know what else to say. Rattler at 6 is a steal. Then Kyle Hamilton to the Giants. I don't really like this. I like their safeties already. Kyle Hamilton's incredibly talented, but why the Giants? They don't really need safety. This should be maybe Sam Howell. Falcons, Kayvon Thibodeau. Oh my god. So in what world is Thibodeau available at 8? Because I don't know what world that is. And then Panthers, Sam Howell. Depends on how Donald looks. Should I add my analysis on Drake Jackson, or should I just say, if you know what my opinion on him is, you know it? At the moment, I'm not touching Drake Jackson until the 3rd round. Let me just say that. That's all I'm going to say. Evan Neal to the Broncos. Now, I was tweeting a lot about him on Twitter, like a week ago, and I think I think Charles Cross, based on his 2021 or on his 2020 tape alone, is OT1. But I think with another year of tackle experience, Neal will pass him. Charles Cross, I was talking to an offensive line coach and then a football opinion that I really trust. They both said Evan Neal is not a finished product, but Charles Cross is insane. And when I watched them on tape, I agreed. Kyer Elam for the Raiders, if he's available here, that is a steal of a pick. That is incredible. And he's a perfect scheme fit. Trent McDuffie to the Cardinals. I'm a UW fan. McDuffie's solid. I don't see I don't see anything eye-popping. Brandon Joseph, I love this. I'm a huge Brandon Joseph guy. Zach Harrison of the Vikings. If there's an edge Mike Zimmer is going to take in the 1st round, it's Zach Harrison. this super big, incredibly lengthy edge rusher who has great athleticism. Harrison is really good, and he's really skilled already, who has still tons of upside left in him. Zach Harrison could sneak into the top 10. Andrew Booth to the Chargers. I was also saying this on Twitter. Booth is a lot better. Was a lot better when I watched him the second time than he was the first time. I honestly don't know what I didn't see the first time, but he's insane. And then moving on to the second half of the first round. Garrett Wilson to the Patriots. I love that. They need like a balanced receiver. And that is Garrett Wilson, who still has high end upside. Then Keaton Slovis. Throw that pick in the trash. Slovis. I watched him short arm a 15-yard pass. I don't see much to like about him. Again, maybe a day 3 pick. Ahmad Gardner. Gardner is just solid, in my opinion. That's about all I could say. Ooh. Now, I'm a big Romeo Doubs fan. Would I pick him here? I don't think so. I'm a huge Romeo Doubs fan, though. He's a phenomenal vertical threat. I think he runs 4.3. He got on top of Darren Hall, proceeded to get 2 steps on him, just burning him. And Darren Hall runs 4.44. I think Romeo Doubs has insane upside. He was one of the only good-looking receivers on the Nevada offense. And then DeMarvion Overshown. Why? They just took Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox. That makes quite literally no sense. And it's just a brainless pick. Now, Traylon Burks. I don't know what to think of Burks. He's like a worse version of A.J. Brown. I think he could be good, but I don't see very great separation ability. Jaleel Billingsley. He's like a wide receiver tight end hybrid. But if he's listed at 230 pounds, I wouldn't take him the first. I think he has the upside to be a first round pick, though. And I think if he comes back and is in the 2023 draft, he likely will be a first round pick. Matt Corral to the Colts. I need to see Wentz play before I can say they need a quarterback. Christian Harris. This is where you take him. I think he's a back end of the first round pick, early second. He's honestly at this point just an athlete who has lots of room to grow in terms of skill, but his talent is insane. And now Jalen Tolbert. I'm trying to watch more of Tolbert, but from what I've seen, he's solid. He's really good. I've only seen short clips of him from a lot of scouts I follow, and everyone loves him from what I've seen. Daxton Hill, I have heard nothing about him, so I'm not going to pretend to know anything about him. Chris Olave to the Lions. I'm not as big on Chris Olave as a lot of people. There are people mocking him in the top 5. I can't even begin to explain that. He's a high floor player who has a ceiling of a high-end number 2. He's not a top 5 player or even a top 10. I think people forget that he was a consensus late first round prospect last year before he decided to return. And Rashid Walker, I don't think he can pass block a toddler, but I think he's a mauling run blocker. He has lots of room to grow. I personally, I was thinking about this more and more, and we've seen over the past 2 years guys that are great run blockers but are terrible pass blockers. They always go in the third round, and I honestly would take Rashid Walker in the third round. That's just my opinion. I somehow have not looked at Tyler Davis yet. I know Ethan, who was on the other mock draft, or on like my 2-round mock draft, he's actually met Tyler Davis, so that's kind of cool. But I want to watch Tyler Davis before I give an opinion on him. Again, I haven't watched Perrion Winfrey, but from what I've heard, he's really solid. Myjai Sanders. I see a high floor, but I don't see much of a ceiling in him. If I'm the Chiefs, though, I would actually prefer Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to come in instantly and be a quality starter. Maybe never be a number 1 pass rusher. Now, to the next part. Kingsley Enagbare. He's a really solid player who's actually a decent athlete, but not a crazy good athlete. I think he could be really good, but maybe never great. Drake London, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out on him, personally. I know a lot of people that love him. I'm not quite there yet. And here is my number 1 guard. Ikem Ekwonu. Ekwonu's just a rock. I'm not as big of a fan as the A&M guy that went 5th overall, which is still beyond me. Also, it's beyond me why Charles Cross is still on the board. And then Josh Jobe. Jobe is solid. I think he's a number 2, though. And then Peppo. He's a freaky athlete at linebacker who's still just learning the position. And then Jarrett Patterson. He's rock steady at center. That's all I could really say. He's just a rock. Sevyn Banks. He's a really talented corner, but is still pretty raw. Breece Hall. Breece Hall is my number 2 running back. He is really good. He was the anchor of that Iowa State offense last year. And then Mikael Wright, I haven't really watched. Adam Anderson I really like. He's super solid. And we all know that I'm really high on George Karlaftis, right? Yeah. We all know that. So, why is he... Well, I don't understand why he's here at pick 44. Ooh, Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan I really like. He's just super steady. Also, let me add this. Their line is terrible. Sean Ryan, you wouldn't... Like, I want to say he's like a bigger dude, but he plays lighter. And he's still really good. Again, I was tweeting about this. I don't know what I'm missing with Phil Yurkovich. I don't know. Whenever I watch him, I'm just disappointed. He has not good accuracy. He's not that smart of a quarterback. He's honestly just a physical talent, if I'm being completely honest. Jalen Wiedermeyer. This is a PFN W. He's not a first-round talent. he just doesn't separate well. I think he's super solid, and that's where it ends. And then I'm gonna kind of speculate with Laceta Smith from Virginia Tech. If I had to guess, he's probably a phenomenal run blocker and isn't a very good pass protector. Just because Virginia Tech doesn't run traditional pass sets. Isaiah Spiller, ooh. The Patriots are gonna lean on a run game. And that's a great pick. Zion Nelson, he's still really raw, in my opinion. Tyler Linderbaum, he is a top 15 talent in the draft. He is really good at everything and has incredible upside. Desmond Ridder, I like that. I kind of don't know, but I want to say this. I honestly don't know where I come in on Desmond Ridder. Tyke Smith. He's kind of a nickel guy. And that's about all. He's solid. Darian Kennard. No. I am not a Darian Kennard fan. Also, why is Charles Cross still on the board? Devin Lloyd. I have not watched Lloyd, but why the frick are the Seahawks taking a linebacker? There is no logical explanation to take a linebacker for the Seahawks. Wagner is still phenomenal. He's still at the worst, top 3 in my opinion. I don't get it. And then Jordan Brooks is going to be a breakout star this year. Sam Bias is a Seahawks fan, but he was the best rookie linebacker last year. He showed more consistency in coverage than Patrick Queen. Queen had just a few splash plays last year. He wasn't as good as a lot of people think he was. But Jordan Brooks was just more consistent in the run defense, and he was still phenomenal in coverage. I don't get it. And then the Seahawks have been saying they're converting Darrell Taylor to linebacker. Then they have Ben Burr-Kirven and Cody Barton. They're just fine at linebacker. Zay Flowers. I really like Zay Flowers. That's a good pick. Eric Ezukanma. I'm going to be honest, I have not heard of him. Tyreek Smith. I like Tyreek Smith. I think he's probably more of a 3rd or a 4th round prospect, though. Jordan Davis. I really like Jordan Davis. And then, when I was watching Charles Cross, I saw a lot of that Mississippi State O-line. This is going to be talking about more of Jalen Carter, the other Georgia IDL, but he's a 2023 prospect. I couldn't tell if Jalen Carter was just insane or the Mississippi State center was terrible. Oh, this would be the steal of the draft. Charles Cross at pick 60. Charles Cross is so incredible from a technical perspective in pass protection, and for a scheme that doesn't even run the ball much, he showed really good run blocking. The only knock I have on him is he has occasional lapses in with his anchor. That's occasional. And then Aiden Hutchinson. I don't like the fit with the Ravens. He would kind of be like how Justin Houston is going to play. But they're more of a 3-4 team, and I would take Nick Benito for them. Nick Benito is going to be an absolute superstar this year in college. Emil Ekiyor. Ekiyor is really good. and he had to move all over the place on the line. He's a rock solid guard. But my only problem here is they could just build around, like, they need tackle. The Packers need tackle more than guard. And I would rather take a tackle for them. That's just me. And then John Mechie. I really like John Mechie. So now I kind of just want to end this video off by trying to find Grayson McCall if he gets drafted in this. I want it to be clear, I'm a lot higher on Grayson McCall than a lot of people. Wait a minute. Isaiah Likely at pick 69. He's my tight end number 1. Likely is just one of the freakiest athletes at tight end I've ever seen. He goes zoom. Also touch on some picks that popped to me, like Jackson Kirkland. Kirkland's just undersized and he's gonna end up at guard. He needs to put on weight and then commit to being a guard. Like, that's about it. And because his anchor is subpar right now. But adding on weight will help with that. Nick Benito at the Falcons, that's a steal. Again, I'm just going to find picks that popped to me. Holy fuck. Justin Ross? Ross has Mike Evans or Kenny Galladay type upside. He's a freak. But Washington doesn't even need a receiver. So I have 2 problems with this pick. Washington, A, doesn't need a receiver, and B, that's not realistic that Justin Ross is available there. We're probably going to be here for a while trying to look for Grayson McCall. Kyron Williams is really good, by the way. Oh my god, Thayer Munford available at 105? What the hell? W. JT Daniels still shouldn't be picked here, but the fact that that's the range that he's going is a W. Ooh, wait. Hold on. I love Jahan Dotson a lot. Jahan Dotson is insane. Shaun Wade has a lot of fathers in college, but maybe no one dominated him as much as Jahan Dotson. Zachary Carter. I kind of want to ask Ethan about Zachary Carter if he knows anything about him, just because he's a Florida fan. Wait, ooh. James Empey. I liked him when I saw him on the BYU line. He was solid. Oh my golly. Edifon Olafosio. That is absurd. Olafosio is a first to a second round talent. The Jordan Strong. Ooh. Strong is a beast. I think is a chance to be Darius Williams, who was a star for the Rams last year. Caleb Elby, I am still trying to get Michigan State, or no, not Western Michigan All-22, but Western Michigan All-22 is non-existent. Still no Grayson McCall. I hope I just haven't missed it. Under on 6 and 7. Dylan Gabriel still hasn't gone as well. That's inexplicable. I hope McCall gets drafted. Hold on, why did the Seahawks take another IDL? Taiwan Mullen at 189? What the hell? Kyler Gordon is really good. I don't know why he's available there. Sam Hartman is going before Grayson McCall and Dylan Gabriel. Frank Harris as well. Clayton Tune. Holy fuck. How did Grayson McCall and Dylan Gabriel not go? That is just blasphemous. I am just puzzled. Derek Deese Jr. For those who don't know, when me and Ethan were doing the 2-round mock draft, we saw Derek Deese Jr. for the first time, and we're like, what? There's a player with the last name Deese? And then he jokingly started the Derek Deese fan club. And I actually watched Derek Deese. He is really good. Like, he's probably a day 2 pick, or a day 3 pick. Early day 3, I mean. Other picks that stand out to me, Jeremy Ruckert. Sam Hartman stands out to me for the wrong reasons. I watched Reggie Robertson Jr. a little bit before he returned. He's a very willing blocker. Tywone Mullen also stands out to me. But, yeah, that's going to do it from the mock draft. There were some ups. There were a lot of downs, let me just say that. But thanks for watching. See you next time.